Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling something absolutely crucial, the invisible infrastructure powering our entire digital world. We're going to unpack the core mechanics of cloud computing, pulling the basics straight from our source material.
So here's our roadmap for today. 1. Welcome to the cloud. 2. Why the cloud wins. 3. Cloud service models. 4. Deployment and major providers. 5. Essential tools and concepts. And 6. The cloud in real life.
Welcome to the cloud, moving from hardware to the internet.
Okay, let's dive right into this. What exactly is the cloud? I mean, it sounds kind of ethereal, right? Like it's literally just floating up in the sky somewhere. But in reality, it is very much grounded in physical infrastructure. It's just infrastructure that you don't have to trip over in your own office anymore. Let's strip away all the tech jargon and look at what this actually means for us.
At its core, cloud computing is basically just the delivery of computing services. Things like servers, storage, databases, and software all over the internet. So the absolute key takeaway here is this. Instead of buying a physical computer or maintaining some massive, loud, local server room, you're just renting IT resources whenever you need them. You literally only pay for what you use.
Let's ground this with a really fantastic analogy from the source material. Imagine you're opening a restaurant. The traditional way of computing is kind of like buying the actual building, all the ovens, the furniture, setting up the electricity, the whole shebang. It requires a massive upfront investment. You're dropping, say, $10,000 on a server that might just sit idle half the day. But the cloud way? That's like renting a fully equipped commercial kitchen for a simple monthly fee. You just walk in and start cooking. In the IT world, that means instead of buying that $10,000 server up front, you might just rent one in the cloud for $20 a month. Section 2. Why the cloud wins. The core advantages of renting over buying.
Okay, I want you to look at this number for a second. 99.99%. This represents high availability. See, in the traditional IT world, if your one physical server crashes, your whole website goes down. Complete disaster. But cloud providers, they own massive, multiple data centers all around the world. If a server in one of those data centers fails, boom, another one instantly takes over. That means your data and applications remain online and available an astonishing 99.99% of the time. And beyond just staying online, the advantages really start to stack up fast. We've talked about the cost savings for sure, but look at instant scalability. Imagine you run an e-commerce site, right? Most of the year you have, maybe 100 daily users. But suddenly, it's Black Friday. Overnight, your traffic spikes from 100 users to 10,000. In the old days, your server would absolutely just crash. But in the cloud, the system automatically scales up your server capacity to handle the rush and then shrinks it right back down when the sale is over. Add in automatic backups, the fact that you can access your global network with just a standard internet connection, and robust security like multi-factor authentication and enterprise firewalls, and it's pretty clear why the cloud is dominating right now.
But how does this magic actually happen when you click a button? Let's just trace a single data request step by step. Let's say you open Gmail. You open the website on your front-end browser. Your request zips through the internet and hits Google's invisible back-end infrastructure, the cloud. A server processes your request, a database retrieves your specific emails, and the response is sent right back to your screen. It's servers, databases, networking, and APIs, all working together in literally fractions of a second.
Section 3. 3 cloud service models. Untangling the alphabet soup.
And this brilliantly illustrates what we call the who manages what framework. It's a great mental map. At the top, we have IaaS, or Infrastructure as a Service. This is where the provider handles the actual physical hardware, the storage, and the network, but you manage almost everything else, like the operating system and apps. Think Amazon EC2. Next down is PaaS, Platform as a Service. Here, the provider manages the OS and infrastructure too. You just upload your code. It's a total game changer for developers, like using Google App Engine. Finally, SaaS, Software as a Service. This is the one we all use every single day. The provider manages absolutely everything. You just log in and use it. Gmail, Microsoft 365, Zoom, no installation required at all.
Section 4. Deployment and major providers, where your data actually lives.
Broadly speaking, there are 2 main ways organizations deploy all this. With the public cloud, you've got massive data centers owned by third-party providers, and anyone can rent space there. Contrast that with the private cloud. That's used by a single organization, like a major bank, that needs absolute maximum security and control over highly sensitive data. And actually, a lot of companies today use a hybrid cloud, which kind of blends both, keeping the sensitive stuff private while running regular apps on the public side. Or even a multi-cloud approach, where they mix and match different providers entirely.
And speaking of those providers, here are the big three in the public cloud space. Amazon Web Services, or AWS, is currently the largest provider out there with super popular services like EC2 and S3. Then you have Microsoft Azure, which, as you might guess, integrates beautifully if your organization is already heavily using Windows and Active Directory. And finally, Google Cloud Platform, or GCP, which our source points out is particularly strong if your focus is heavily on artificial intelligence and data analytics.
Section 5. Essential Tools and Concepts. Virtualization, Containers, and Serverless.
Let's move to the back end and see how this all builds together, because the entire foundation of cloud computing really rests on this one single concept, virtualization. Before this, one massive physical server basically ran one operating system for one customer. Very inefficient. Virtualization is the secret sauce. It lets a cloud provider take that one giant physical server and chop it up into 10, 20, maybe 50 virtual machines, or VMs. Each VM acts completely like its own independent computer, so multiple customers can share the exact same physical hardware securely. It massively improves efficiency and, of course, drastically reduces costs.
Building on that incredible efficiency, modern developers use two really cool deployment strategies. First, we have containers, using tools you might have heard of like Docker and Kubernetes. Containers package an app along with literally everything it needs to run, making it incredibly lightweight and super portable across any environment. Then, we have serverless computing, like AWS Lambda. Now, don't let the name fool you. There are still servers involved, but you literally never have to think about them. You just upload your code, and the cloud provider runs it only when it's needed. You pay purely for the milliseconds your code is actively executing. No server maintenance whatsoever. Pretty amazing, right?
So when we map these essential tools across the major providers, you'll see they really all offer similar foundational solutions. If you need virtual servers to compute data, you're using EC2 on AWS, Azure VM on Microsoft, or Compute Engine on Google. Need to store images or files? That's going to be S3, blob storage, or cloud storage. Need a structured database? You're looking at RDS, Azure SQL, or Cloud SQL. Basically, it's different brand names, but the exact same essential functions.
Section 6. The Cloud in Real Life. Powering the apps you use every day.
You know, you interact with these cloud concepts dozens of times a day without even realizing it. Netflix, they stream terabytes of video globally using scalable cloud infrastructure. Uber matches your ride, calculates the maps, and runs all their analytics entirely on the cloud. Zoom processes millions of real-time video conferences without buckling, all thanks to cloud elasticity. And Airbnb hosts its entire global booking platform on rented IT resources. These massive, everyday brands rely completely on the scalability, global access, and high availability we've just been talking about.
So it really makes you think, doesn't it? From the moment you check your Gmail first thing in the morning to the moment you stream a movie late at night, how much of your daily routine depends on a server you will literally never see? The cloud really is the invisible engine of the modern world. Well, I hope this explainer gave you a clear, structured map of how it all works under the hood and maybe even sparked your curiosity to dive a little deeper into IT architecture. Keep exploring, and thanks for learning with us today.